Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Lugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here on Saturday, July 15th. As most of you know, probably ESPN has been doing their top 10 list at each position over the last week or so. And we've seen some Jaguars get snubbed. We've seen some Jaguars be mentioned here. We're going to take a look at where ESPN has Jaguars tight end Evan Engram ranked among the top 10 tight ends, and also take a look at Travis Etienne as well here. So, appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content here on the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. You can also check out genjag.com/shop. Check out our Duval gear that we have available. Lots of fun stuff up there. Again, that's genjag.com/shop. So getting into where ESPN has Evan Engram in their top 10 tight end list. And this is a list that is ranked by executives, coaches, scouts, and players from around the NFL. They each submit a top 10 list. Evan Engram made the top 10 of the tight ends in 2023. We'll go ahead and take a look here at what ESPN has to say about Evan Engram and his ranking, which comes in at number 8 overall. He's behind only Kyle Pitts at 7, TJ Hawkinson at 6, Darren Waller at 5, Dallas Goedert at 4, Mark Andrews 3, George Kittle 2, and of course Travis Kelce at 1st overall. But looking at what they say about Evan Engram. First off, highest ranking was 5, lowest ranking was unranked. Last year he was unranked. They say he's 28 years old, soon to turn 29, and this is the blurb. Evaluators stuck with Evan Engram despite lean years in New York, placing him in 2021's top 10 amid pedestrian production. Fast forward, and he is deservedly back among the best after a banner year in Jacksonville. Engram ranked among the top 4 in tight ends and receptions at 73, receiving yards 766, and yards after catch at 475. He was particularly good late in the year during Jacksonville's playoff push, ranking 3rd among all NFL players in yards after catch with 294. He can create mismatches from various alignments, and he can win against various types of defensive personnel. Linebacker, corner, safety, a high-ranking NFL official said. Underrated blocker. So, high praise there for Evan Engram, who was in 2021's top 10, was not there in 2022, back for 2023. This is a guy that was dynamic for the Jaguars down the stretch. He was one of their best players, regardless of position, regardless of offense or defense, special teams. Evan Engram made one of the biggest impacts for the Jaguars, again, during that stretch run where they had to win a bunch of games in a row to punch their ticket to the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, he made a big impact as well, especially against the Chargers, scoring a touchdown, going up and getting it in between 2 defenders on that stick and nod type play. And, contact up in the air, doesn't matter. Comes down with the football. Big play for the Jaguars offense. This is a guy that currently, the contract situation is still up in the air. The Jaguars and Evan Engram only have until 4 p.m. on July 17th. So we've got, a little over 48 hours for the Jaguars and Evan Engram to come to a contract resolution, lock down a multi-year deal. If not, he's going to have to play the 2023 season on the franchise tag, which will pay him $11.345 million, which is a nice payday, but he'd like to get a little bit more of a long-term commitment from the team. The two sides are still trying to work on this multi-year deal. We're not sure if it's going to play out or not, how it will play out. If the Jaguars will get this deal done, I'm leaning towards it probably not happening with the deadline being so close now, but we'll see if they're able to get a deal done and lock Evan Engram up for the next 2 or 3 years here in Jacksonville. But bottom line, cool to see Evan Engram honored as a top 10 tight end here in the NFL. The Jaguars took a 1-year flyer on him, kind of a prove-it deal in 2022, and he proved it in a big way. He's got the athleticism, he's got the want to, he's got the skill to be one of the best tight ends in the league. And I think putting him at 8 makes a lot of sense, right? The rest of the guys on this list ahead of him are excellent football players. I don't think you would really make the argument that you would pick Evan Engram over any of them, quite frankly. I mean, he was more productive than Kyle Pitts last year, but Kyle Pitts dealt with injuries last year. He's clearly one of the best young tight ends in football, if not the best. So TJ Hawkinson, a balanced tight end who's a great receiver as well. Darren Waller, he's been a little up and down with injuries, but when he's on his game, one of the most dynamic tight ends in the league. Dallas Goedert has been excellent for Philly. Mark Andrews, George Kittle, Travis Kelce. You can't argue there. I think Evan Engram slots in the perfect place here, honestly, and he's one spot above Pat Freiermuth, a spot above Dawson Knox. You've also got Dalton Schultz, David Njoku, Noah Fant, Tyler Higbee, Hunter Henry, Cole Kmet, all in the honorable mention section here. So pretty good stuff there in regards to where Evan Engram lands. I think he actually got the respect he deserved. And that probably has to do with he did come from a high profile market. People knew about him in New York as a former first round pick, but awesome to see him on this list. And then you get into also looking at the running backs here. Travis Etienne did not make the top 10, but after what was essentially his rookie season, I would not have expected him to make the top 10, even if he was one of the most explosive backs in the league, even if he did have some of the biggest runs of the year, had some of the fastest ball carrier speed at miles per hour at over 21 miles per hour. I'm not surprised that he did not make the list, but to see him honorable mention, I think if he continues to perform the way he did in 2022, you'll certainly see Travis Etienne make the list, and we'll go ahead and read ESPN's blurb about him here. Etienne recovered from a lost rookie year to injury and showcased major splash play ability. Etienne's 4 rushes of 40 or more yards tied Derrick Henry and Justin Fields for a league high. He finished with 1,125 yards on the ground, which ranked 9th. Good back, good speed, was getting healthy, might have a breakout year, a veteran NFL scout said. Not a physical back, but can do enough. I tend to agree with most of that. I agree Etienne is not a guy that his physicality is really his calling card, but I think throughout the year you did see him start to finish runs a little stronger, show a little more leg drive, run through some contact, and also just finish these runs in terms of being able to fall forward, not getting slung backwards or anything like that, being able to fight through some contact, being able to show a little power. And obviously the calling card there is his speed, his quickness, his explosiveness, and his creativity with the football in his hands. He was unbelievable for the Jaguars in 2022, and that was with essentially being a rookie and having some issues, right? Like he did fumble the ball quite a bit during the middle of the year, and he worked on that and improved it down the stretch. He also improved his power. He also was a guy that, he didn't find every hole that was available to him. I don't think the Jaguars' run blocking was great in 2022, but when they did open up some holes, Etienne didn't always make the perfect read as a runner. So I think all those things can improve and will improve him going into year 2 of this system, year 2 of being able to actually play in the NFL after losing 2021, which would have been his rookie year to that Liz Frank injury suffered in week 3 of the preseason. Really cool to see Travis Etienne in the honorable mention. I think he probably will end up punching a spot in the top 10. But look, there's a lot of talented running backs in the league right now. We'll see how it plays out. If he has a good season the way he did in 2022 and even improves upon what he was able to do from a efficiency and down-to-down standpoint, I think you could see Travis Etienne certainly crack that top 10 in 2023. That's going to do it, though. Thank you so much for tuning in. Quick Saturday morning show for y'all. Really appreciate you. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Check out ginjag.com/shop. Pick up some new Duval gear. Have a good one.